Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fantastic moral story from Gangapur Village. It's called The Tale of Chameli. Now, on the surface, it's this vibrant cartoon fable, but honestly, it packs some incredibly grounded lessons about life, the effort we put in, and the true consequences of our actions. So, let's just jump straight into the narrative, shall we?
Okay, let's dive into this. What actually happens when you want something for absolutely nothing? Well, our main character, a goat named Chameli, is literally the living embodiment of this question. To put it mildly, she is spectacularly lazy. She doesn't want to lift a single hoof to earn her keep, yet she expects the whole world to just provide for her. Today, we're going to explore the hilarious but kind of tragic domino effect that kicks in when you actively avoid honest work.
You see, Chamelia's ultimate goal in life is simply sleeping peacefully all day in her courtyard. Sounds great, right? But the stark reality is that her kids are crying and literally starving for a meal. They hadn't eaten a single thing the night before. Now, in a truly comedic display of just terrible parenting, when the kids wake Chamelia up begging for food, she isn't worried. No, she is furious. She's incredibly annoyed that her precious sleep is being interrupted. She actually mutters that these kids won't let her rest in peace, snapping at them that their stomachs are like bottomless wells. It's totally absurd, it's pretty funny, but man, it establishes exactly who Chamelia is right from the get-go.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is tracking Chameli's incredibly stubborn journey. Forced out of bed, she goes out looking for a free meal. First, she heads to the jungle, but the animals there already know she's lazy, so they flat out refuse her any free handouts. Next up, she finds this beautiful orchard guarded by a bull. And you know the bull actually takes pity on her hungry kids. He offers her daily food, but only if she agrees to water and guard his orchard. Chameli's response? She completely refuses to do the work and just walks away. Finally, with aching feet and endlessly complaining, she meets a human named Harya. Harya offers her great food every single day, but on one condition: she has to provide milk in return just like his other goats. And once again, Chameli refuses the honest labor. She just walks away, absolutely determined to find a shortcut.
And right here is where that search for a shortcut backfires spectacularly. Chameli stumbles upon a lush, empty field belonging to a farmer named Chaman. Thinking she's finally hit the absolute jackpot of free food, she stuffs her face, gathers some crops for her kids, and, true to her incredibly lazy nature, promptly falls asleep right there under a tree. But listen, there are no true shortcuts in life. The farmer Chaman arrives, sees his completely ruined crops, and catches her red-handed. He is furious. He tells her in no uncertain terms that because she stole his livelihood, she is going to pay the price. And despite her crying and pleading for mercy, his heart just doesn't melt for a thief.
Her punishment is swift, and it is brutal. 3 long days tied to a tree. 3 days entirely without food. 3 days entirely without water. The sheer irony here is unbelievable. In her quest to avoid just a few hours of honest labor, she has now condemned herself to 72 hours of agonizing suffering. This right here is the direct, unglamorous cost of her laziness.
So, as nighttime starts to roll in, Chameli grows incredibly weak. Suddenly, a rat wanders by and recognizes her. She desperately begs him for help, explaining that her kids are waiting for her. Now, at first, the rat refuses. Why should he stick his neck out for a known lazy thief? But then, in a moment of pure desperation, Chameli invokes the name of the deity Ganpati Bappa, pleading for mercy in his name. Moved by this deeply spiritual appeal, the rat finally relents. He chews right through her thick ropes and sets her free. The very moment she's free, absolute panic sets in. She grabs the stolen food and rushes home, her heart just pounding out of her chest. But when she gets there, a terrifying question hits her. Where are the children? She bursts into her courtyard and it's completely empty. Her starving kids, who she left days ago, are nowhere to be found. You know that comedic tone from the beginning? Yeah, that has completely evaporated. Chameli is now a frantic, terrified mother facing the devastating consequences of her absence. Desperate for answers, she frantically retraces her steps. First, she runs back to the bull. He tells her that 2 days ago, the kids had actually come looking for her. But when the bull explained that their mother was a lazy goat who refused to work, the kids were so deeply ashamed, they just walked away. Next, she sprints over to Harya. He tells her that yesterday the starving kids arrived at his farm. He kindly fed them, but after eating, they wandered off into the dangerous jungle last night looking for her. It's heartbreaking.
Every single step she traces reveals how her own poor reputation and absence literally forced her kids right into danger.
And then, Haria delivers the most devastating news imaginable. He tells her that a hungry lion caught the young goats wandering in the jungle. They're gone. Just take a second to think about the gravity of this moment. The story hits its absolute lowest point right here. Chemeli realizes in a flash that she is entirely responsible for their deaths. I mean, if she had just watered the bull's orchard, or if she had just given a little milk to Haria, she would have been home, her kids would be safe, and they would be alive. Her sheer laziness has literally cost her the only thing she truly loved.
The heartbreak here is just palpable. Chemeli, totally shattered and overflowing with this deep, heavy regret, walks all the way back to Chaman's field. She looks the farmer in the eye and begs, "Tie me back to the tree, I don't want to live anymore." She finally realizes that a life without her children, a life ruined by her own terrible choices, just isn't worth living. And you know it's bad when even Chaman, the angry farmer from before, is stunned by her total despair. He actually takes pity on her, refusing to punish her any further, because her grief is clearly punishment enough.
But wait, just as she is about to give up entirely, familiar voices sound behind her, and this brilliantly illustrates our big plot twist. The kids are alive. They are standing right there, perfectly unharmed. And guess who is standing with them? The rat! It turns out, when the rat heard the kids were cornered by a lion in the jungle, he rushed over, bravely frightened the big cat away, and rescued them all. It's a joyous, incredibly high-energy reunion that completely flips the emotional script of this entire fable. Overjoyed, Chemeli hugs her kids tight and immediately turns to Haria. She promises him that from this day forward, she will work hard on his farm every single day. She has finally, truly learned her lesson. And this is exactly where the core of this moral story reveals itself to us. Laziness always leads to disaster, while hard work is the true path to survival. Ultimately, honest labor is what brings lasting, secure happiness. Haria gladly accepts her help, noting that those who work hard never go hungry, and Chemeli's family finally gets to live happily and industriously ever after.
So let me leave you with a question today. Are you trying to take the easy way out in your own life? It is so easy to laugh at a lazy cartoon goat, right? But this moral story really acts as a mirror for us. Whether it's in our careers, our studies, or even our relationships, constantly looking for that free meal usually ends up costing us far more than honest effort ever would. Let this little narrative be a powerful reminder of the true value of your own labor. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to reflect on where you might be avoiding a little hard work today. Catch you next time.